Hello everyone and welcome back to Clover Pets. I'm Clover and today I'm just going to be giving another update on the animals, talking about what's going to be happening next, talking about what I'm working on now, talking about what this is and what all that is and why these are empty and all that. I'd also like to apologize for any noise in the background. There's construction near me, so yeah. So I'm going to try and do this in sort of chronological order, or at least in some sort of pattern. First, starting out, just checking up on all of the animals. So first of all, we have our 3 leopard geckos. We have Pumpkin, Saffron, and Avalanche in that order. This is going to change pretty soon though. As you can see, Avalanche, our rescue baby, is finally into her permanent enclosure. This is a 40-gallon. And although she is definitely still underweight, she's gotten so much better over this time. All scarring and obviously all scabs have definitely dissipated. She has all of her toes fine. I think there's a little stuck shed on that one right now, but that's because she just shed. Got a soaker. And she's very active, she's eating well, she's climbing around, and all of that. As you can see, she's still on paper towels instead of a loose substrate because, and I don't really know why this is, I think it might be neurological, but it doesn't matter what substrate I put her in with. Every single time I've tried over different enclosures, different sizes, different heights, different depths, different types of substrate, different moisture levels, different stuff in the enclosure, all of that, she will not stop eating it. I don't know why. Within a few seconds of going into the enclosure, she's already licking at it, and I don't mean just licking to check out the new environment. I mean licking it, getting large amounts in, and then eventually biting at it and swallowing large amounts, which it's not safe. So yeah, that's why she is still on paper towels. Moving up, Pumpkin here. Oh, hello, Bubs. How are you doing? Pumpkin's also doing really well. As you can see, I want to get a new enclosure eventually here as this, or at least another bar, but I don't think we can get just another door. They're hard to find these days, but this enclosure I've had for a very long time. This cracked when we first got it, siliconed it really terribly because I was really inexperienced at that point, and yeah, just never really got any better. So that doesn't look good, but works. Obviously, as for the actual enclosure, it looks bad. I admit, this looks pretty freaking awful. Look at all that plant. Most of these are dead or really close to dead and all of that. But at the time it is what it is. As for Pumpkin, come here, pups. Will you come out? Maybe? Come on. No. Well, Pumpkin's doing really well. Oh, there you go. Come on. And all of that. Patterns have gotten a lot lighter, as you can see. My camera's being really weird, gosh. But yeah. Definitely gotten lighter patterns, but such a pretty gecko, doing really well. Had him, I don't even know how long now, but generally still super sweet and sociable, all of that. Go on, bud. As for Saffron here, as you can see, also in 40 gallons, they've all got their permanent setups, aside from this might change, but to the same size. Got this door. Saffron's doing really well, just ate, finally, which is great because he has been on an eating strike for an absurd amount of time. Like, if it had lasted another week, we would have been taking him to the vet, quite literally. Yeah, so that's not good, but he is eating now, and I'm supplementing with waxworms, and I may or may not decide to supplement with some grub pie from Rapashi, just because it's higher in fat, and try and help with that, but yeah, also doing really well, at least given the circumstance, but yeah. Equinox here, our hognose, who we just recently got, is doing great too. Currently just in a 20-gallon, what is this, Zoomed front opening enclosure, but may get an upgrade to a 40-gallon. I'm not really sure yet what I want to do with him, because he's only like, if he's stretched out fully, he's only stretched out to like here. Very small snake, and he is an adult, full grown and all, so yeah, this may be permanent enclosure, may not, I don't know. Eventually I do want to do other stuff with it, but yeah. The mice, they are also doing pretty good. We did unfortunately have Bluey, which was my oldest girl, pass away. This is most likely just due to old age, as mice don't live very long. But our babies that we got, they're all doing good, and so is Bingo, so yeah. Our hermit crabs are also doing good, still waiting to get two custom stands, as we need that for the 200-gallon 8-foot setup, so they're currently just in a holding tank. As for the rescue Hermes, they're also doing just fine. Same with our captive bred babies, you can sort of see them there. They're also doing good. Xerox is finally in his permanent enclosure, as we were not sure how long it would be until it arrived, so that's great. This is a 120-gallon, which is 4x2x2, PVC enclosure from Custom Reptile Habitats. Mulch, our Cresty, is still super feisty, which is a little unfortunate, but is still doing really well in terms of actual health, and has been climbing a lot more, and even started eating some insects on the side, which is great. And all of our budgie babies and cockatoo kids, they are all doing just fine as well. How's your dear Eclipse, Ellen? Hey, Cisco. Any scratches? Oh, nice scratches. Good boy. We've even been able to add another area for the budgies and for Benny, and all of these new perches. As for Willow, she's extremely feisty as always, but has started to calm down to me a bunch, and is doing pretty good. Yeah, you need a brush. You need to be brushed. Boop. The rescue guppies are doing just fine in this tub setup, which I know looks a little weird, but I promise this water is tested frequently. It's super clear, as you can see, and the fish do just fine. Which finally leads us to this setup, which is my 10-gallon aquarium. This is the one that I've had set up for the longest. Yeah, it is doing extremely well, but unfortunately we are probably going to have to reset it. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to have to take everything out of here, everything out of here and literally start from scratch. I don't want to have to do this, as I do really love this enclosure, but as you can see, it's super overgrown with plants and with roots from this plant, and also the duckweed's growing really crazy, and Java moss. But yeah, anyways, it's very overgrown, and although I could keep trimming it, I've noticed recently that it's just not helping much. And it's been set up for an extremely long amount of time with no water changes. It gets tested with API Liquid Master Test Kit, and everything is constantly in check, but we have not done any actual water changes, just topping up the water monthly. And because of that, there's a lot of sediment, and although that works really well for the plants, it's getting to the point where it is a bit out of hand, and it is going to have to be redone. So that's a project that I might even be doing today, basically taking this apart and rescaping it, or maybe just resetting it up in some other way, yeah. And that's project number 1. As for the geckos, snakes, and hermit crabs, their enclosures, although functionally sound, and although they have everything the animals need, do look pretty awful and could definitely use a revamp. So in a couple days, we're going to go to a reptile shop, get a ton of cork, get a ton of stuff, all that, and revamp all of their setups, make them a lot more enrichment filled, and also hopefully look a little better. Far in the future, I do hope to eventually move all of the animals, or all the reptiles at least, to bioactive enclosures. I'd probably start with Xerox, and then move to Equinox, then work on, well, first is going to be Mulch, then Xerox, then Equinox, then the leopard geckos. So yeah. Obviously, for the ambassador crabs, they have a setup that's going to be bioactive too. That's still in the works. I also plan to completely redo our living room, which is where all those bird perches I showed before are, which will give the budgies and Benny, I'd say Crackers too, our dolphins, but he doesn't really tend to go over there much, if at all. Thinking like more than a year we've had him, he's been in there like 3 times by choice. So yeah, but I plan to redo that, which should eventually also give Willow, our Holland Lope, or, oh my god, why did I just say that? No, Willow, our Lionhead, Benny, more space. It should also make her cage more easy access, which could help with socializing her even more. Although, I'll admit, she's the feistiest bunny I have ever met, and I have worked with a lot of bunnies. Yeah. Yeah, after that, I'm considering also getting rats, which would be awesome, because this is something that I've been hoping for a very long time now. I've been researching on them for a good 8-9 months now, and have wanted them for years, so that would be awesome. Also, once we get the ambassador hermit crabs into their setup, the captive bred babies are moving out of that tiny, tiny little 10-gallon and into a 40-gallon breeder, which will be awesome. But I am also pretty scared for that, as it's something I've never worked with before, nor do I have any experience with that, and they are tiny. So being around larger Hermes is gonna be a little different. They're not moving into one of those, they're moving into a separate one, but I'm gonna set that up with larger Hermes, which should be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. The only thing I would like to mention otherwise is that I'm currently working on redoing this entire room, so it will eventually look different, but huge project. I'm also working on, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm moving all of the animals, at least the animals I can, obviously not like aquarium, but all the other animals to front opening enclosures, mostly like Exoterra, Zilla, Thrive, Zoomed, whatever, preferably. Okay, I love Thrive enclosures, but I hate Thrive as a brand because it's a PetSmart brand, but to be honest, they're the best enclosures I've had, although they aren't very functional for high humidity setups, because they're based off of Euro-style vivariums, European-style vivariums, which have an area on the front, they're front opening, and they have an area on the front that on the underside is used to vent, which prevents fog in the front and stuff, and condensation, which is why these enclosures have these. Thrive took the more aesthetic-looking thing and eliminated that, which does look better and does work just as fine for like leopard geckos and stuff, but does not function well for high humidity. They also have better lids, better tops. I'm not sure if you can really tell there, but yeah. Sorry, complete random rant. Anyways, I'm working on getting all of the possible animals into front opening enclosures and upgrading animals as I can. That's how Avalanche got her set up, Xerox got his, Inquinox might get a larger setup, Mulch is definitely getting a larger setup, and then I plan to get rid of these 2 breeder tanks and move those to front opening tanks, and then get rid of those for 10 gallons and move to like 12 by 12 by 18s or something like that. I don't really know about that yet, but yeah, probably 12 by 12 by 18s. Yeah. Possibly get the mice into a front opening enclosure too, actually. So yeah. Anyways, this video was all over the place. I hope you enjoyed, hope you watched this far, and I hope that if you didn't, you at least got something out of this video. I know I'm not posting very often anymore. I've been working with other stuff and also very busy on these projects, but I hope to keep updating at least in small increments, so yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.